How to make a video, basic video, using something free for the Windows machine. I recommend Hitfilm for Express. It's got all the basic features you need. It is quite equivalent to iMovie, which I just made a tutorial for before, but it's got even more features if you want to use them. But we'll keep it simple. The hardest part, I believe, is just trying to figure out how to install the thing. So I'm on the landing page, hitfilm.com/express. Express is the free version. I'm going to click on the blue button here. And at the bottom of this window, I'm clicking on the blue button again. And then it's asking me to, this is a different screen from before, but it was asking me, promote it using Google Plus and Facebook and Twitter. Now, if you're using a school login account, so you can just click on Google Plus, and we don't do Google Plus with the school account, so it just fails to register anything, and it brings you to this screen. So you move ahead without actually promoting the thing. And you just put in a name, an email address, and password. Whatever is fine. You don't have to click any of these buttons, and you go click send me the download, and then you go check your email inbox, and they should have a link there for you to go and download the software. Once you've downloaded the software, open it up. So this is basically what it looks like when you open up Hitfilm for Express. They've got tutorials here in the main sort of middle bit here, and there's add-on packs for you to buy, but you don't need any of them. I'm going to click over here to New in the left corner, and it's going to ask me, okay, what's my project going to be? What kind of resolution are we talking about? 1080p. If you're if you're filming your footage using your iPhone, 1080p is definitely where you want to be. If you're using a webcam, stuff like that. I think 1080p is probably a good starting place. So I'm going to click on that. 24 frames per second is what people use for movies. Most things like your phones and your webcams are probably going to be running at something like 30 frames per second. So you may want to pick that option if you have that. And then go start editing. Now, this is the basic graphic user interface for Hitfilm. So on the right-hand side here, this is where you have a live preview of your video as you are making it. So it should look exactly what your video will be. And over here in the lower left corner, this is where you import your media. That could be photos, videos, music, etc. And it also gives you an opportunity to add in effects and control those effects, and then also modify your text fonts. Over here in the lower right-hand panel, this is your timeline. A timeline is basically where you would throw in your footage sequentially, one after another, and you can rearrange them and when they come in, when they go out, etc. Right-hand side here is your audio level meters. You don't want it to go into the reds, so you may need to manipulate your audio tracks such that they don't go too far up into the reds. Otherwise, they will clip and distort and sound generally quite awful. And over here is a trimmer. This will show up with something interesting once I've actually got some media imported. So I'm going back to the media tab here, and I'm going to click on import. Import, and it's going to ask me, what am I going to import? I'm going to go navigate to some basic stuff in my hard drive. I'm going to get some music, some photos, and some video clips. 1 second. Okay, now that all the media has been put in, I can now start putting things into my timeline and actually making some basic edits and putting together my story, my timeline, my video composition. And what you're going to do is you're going to click on your media. So I'm going to click on this video clip here. And initially, mine used to be gray all the way from left to right in this section here. This is basically a little timeline or playhead space for this actual clip that you want to take a section of and put in here. You don't want everything. You're going to find that the first section of your video, let's say from here to here, you're going like, oh, is it on? Did I press the button right? And I'm fumbling the camera in my hands. I go, oh my god, it's on. Okay. So here we go. This is what I'm going to say. Right. I'm totally good. And then you actually start talking. You don't want that fumbling bit because you just kind of look a little bit unprofessional. So what you're going to do is you're going to move your playhead to where the point where you're actually saying something good or important that we all need to hear. Let's say, my cat is awesome and you should all have a cat. Check out how cute it is and say all these photos of it. I'm going to move the playhead here and I'm going to hit the letter I. I stands for like in point, where it starts. And then I'm going to move my cursor to the scrub across, I'm holding down, to the point of the video where I finished speaking. So this bit here is important. The rest of the bit is not really important. Once I've got that done, I can now click here and drag that section of my video into my timeline. Now there's video track 1, video track 2, video track 3. You want to throw it to the first one, at least initially. Just at the bar right. It's asking me, the way this video is set up is different to the one I've actually set in my project. I'm just going to conform everything to what the project is. That's fine. Hit OK. I'm also going to grab another video clip from here, which I've already set the in and out points for, and I'm going to drag that in So I've at least show you some variety of one video to another. Now, as I play this video through, it's going to go from the staircase footage, and then it's going to progress to the fire footage. Every video should feature fire. It's not a prerequisite, but it certainly helps. If you'll find that your playback and general editing experience is a bit slow, you can actually reduce the grunt work your computer is doing from full resolution and full calculations to about half. So this little display here will be half the resolution, and so it won't bog down your computer quite so much. So I've got some footage there. You can drag and rearrange them in any order you need to. You can also throw in some photographs. I can put it at the end over here. However, I think most of us want to talk about their awesome dog or cat. You may want to show the cat while you're speaking. So while I'm listening to this track here and seeing me on the staircase, I can move my photograph above into video track 2, and that'll show up on top of everything else. So now when I play it through, cats are awesome. Check out this cat. Wait, this is not a cat picture. Sorry about that, guys. Maybe next time. So there's photographs, you can put them on top. You can do the same thing with videos, so I can remove that photograph and instead put this video clip right on top of this other one. Now when I play it back through, one thing you should not do with your videos, one thing you should not do with your cats is set them on fire. Here's a picture of fire, and so on and so forth, so you can make some more variety. I'm having a clash of audio playing back through my headphones right now because I'm hearing the initial track where I'm on the staircase, as well as the audio track from the footage of the fire. To do that, I believe I'll have to try and find a way of unlinking these two things here. Maybe unlink, maybe right-click unlink. So now when I move one, I don't move the other, so this is no longer part of the other one. I can hit delete. So now I've just got the audio track of me speaking and the video of the fire showing above. Now, other things you can do is you can change the trimming. Let's say you didn't set your in and out points quite just right. You kind of did a rough job. You can trim it by moving a cursor to the edges. See how the icon of my mouse has changed to a little bit of a curly icon? I can use that to now drag out, extend my selection, or contract it. Obviously, you can't extend it beyond what you actually filmed, so keep that in mind. So, timeline, in and out points, trimming, images, transitions. So if you want to have a transition from one clip to the other, so I'm just moving this over here. So let's say when I play it back, it's just a hard switch from this one to this one. There's nothing interesting happening in between. If you want to add a little pizzazz, you can add a transition effect. And to do that, you click, I believe, get the curly icon, select the clip that's going to transition towards the next thing, and I believe you click something like that, and go to Effects, and I think there's scrolling to the bottom here, we've got Video Transition Effects, so I'm going to click on that and then there's a bunch that you can choose from. I'm just going to use Fade to Color, and I think I'm just going to double click. Nope, it didn't work. Maybe if I drag it on top. Oh wait, I see. So you click and drag it, and it's not going to work on the middle of the clip, but if you move to the edges, see there's a little bit of a green line here, that's where it's going to be applied. Sorry, I'm not very perfect at this program. So now when I play it back, it should fade to black, and then progress to the next video, which is a much smoother transition in this case because the fire is obviously dark. So I'm going to go back to my media tab because I was in the, one thing I forgot to mention in the previous bit was that when you are at your transition, you can actually go to the controls tab, and if you select the very edge of that clip there, it brings up that transition effect, which in my case was fade to color, and I can then go drop this down and have some controls there to manipulate it. So I can change it from black to something really cool and cinematic and moody, like bright pink, and I hit OK. So now when it progresses from this frame to the next, it goes bright pink, as all really artsy movies tend to have. Now, audio. Let's put in some music. So I've got a music track here. I can go ahead and just drag that underneath into audio track 2, and I have that playing along. Now, when you are doing dialogue to the camera and you're trying to talk and you're trying to make some sense, the viewers need to be able to hear what you're saying. So if your voice or if your audio levels are too low, we can't hear you. One thing I can do, this is the audio track that belongs to me and the staircase clip. I can actually grab this horizontal line, see how the cursor changes to icon, click and drag that up. This will increase the volume of that clip. Now, while this is playing, you can't have your music going all the whole time because I'm not going to be hear you. I'm not going to be able to hear you. It's going to be a conflict of sounds and noises. I won't be able to tell what you're saying. So that music track has to come down whenever you are speaking. So for that, I'm going to go to my music track and drag that down slightly. So now when I play it back, I should hear better levels. But let's say you want to have the blaring fun music, but you don't want it to be low in volume the entire time. What if you want it to be just low when you're speaking, but full levels when you're, showing footage, let's say things crashing into walls? What you can do is you can actually make little, you can do something called ducking, which is you bring the volume down. I'm going to hold down my command key. I'm not sure what the key modifier would be on the Windows machine. I'm sure you can give it a try, Control or Alt or something like that. While holding down the command key, I'm going to mouse over this horizontal line, which I used earlier to reduce the volume. If I click once, I've added a point. This is a keyframe. I'm going to add a keyframe there, and a keyframe there, and maybe another keyframe here. That way I can reduce the line. Let's see if I can move my mouse over the middle. I don't think I can. I can move the points. I think that's the fidelity I have here. I can now move the points up and down to increase or decrease the volume. So as you can imagine, as the video plays from left to right, it's going to be at full volume, then it's going to drop in volume for the music track, and then come back up again after I've finished talking while I'm at the staircase. That way I can get that full sound of the music as well. Another thing you might want to do is you might want to add text to your video. Let's say you can't pronounce something in science. Well, you could put it as text. I'm not terribly good at this, so give me some grace of time. I'll show you in a minute. And we're back again. So I believe we've got to make something called a composite layer. So let's see, new composite shot. And it asked me what is composite shot. This is composite shots and stuff like that. This is used in Adobe After Effects and so forth. I believe it's there to make special effects like lightning and all kinds of cool things, and special effects and glowing and explosions. We're just going to try and use it to make text. So I'm going to call this is cool text. All right, this is just a name. I hit OK. And it's going to give me a blank timeline and a blank screen here with the checkerboard pattern. This means that there's nothing there, not even black, not even white, just absolutely transparent nothingness. And while this is selected, it's also moved from my editor tab to this is the cool text thing, which I'm going to edit right now. I'm also going to move my mouse up here because now my tools have changed. Now I've got the letter icon, which this is what I use to add text. Selecting that, I can then drag out a selection wherever you deem appropriate for your text to appear. It could be in the bottom, it could be the top, etc. And now I can go ahead and type. This is super awesome and not boring. So that's the text. If I want to modify the font, the size, the color, I go back to my media tab here. See the little tabs above here, effects, controls. Then I click this arrow icon and move across to text. And here I can change, I believe, the color and the font type and so forth. And even the, whether it's center or if it's going to be like left, adjusted left, center. There we go. I suppose I have to highlight the text for it to take effect. I'm also going to increase the size here to, I don't know, let's say 70. There we go. And I'm going to change this to Arial Black because black stuff is cooler. This is awesome and not... Okay, it's run off the edge. I believe I have to increase the perimeter here. There we go. Right. That's it. Now I can go back to the editor, and it's still not showing up in my video. What's going on? It's because I've made the composite layer, but I haven't put it anywhere in the actual timeline. So back to the media tab. This is cool text. This is the text bit that I had just made. I can now drag that and place it somewhere in my timeline. I'm going to put it maybe, let's say here, in the duration of the flame test. So now when I play it back, it should appear offensively in the middle of the frame. Here it is, and there it is. This is super awesome and not boring. That's the text, and I can trim it to the length of time that's appropriate for the video, and so on and so forth. Oh, what's happened again? I've put it into video track 2, which is also impeding on audio track 2. So what I should have done is I should have dragged that into another track above as well. So that'll be video track 3 and audio track 3. Now it plays through, and it's not going to interrupt my music track down there below. So now I'm taking you through text. Last thing to do is to save and export, compile, etc. Don't send me project files. I can't understand them because all your source media, your photos, your videos, and your music don't come with the project file. You have to give me an actual consolidated file, which is the export. So I believe the icon is down here, export. Looks like a little piece of film. Click on that. And then it's asking you, You can upload to YouTube. Please don't do that for your science assignment because we don't want that to happen. You need to export that to file. But oh no, it says this is in demo mode. Don't worry, you can unlock all the export options for free by activating, and click here to activate. And when you click that, it's going to take you back to the browser. I believe you have to do a few hoops to jump through, but it tells me it is free, so hopefully this won't impede you in any shape or form. From there, I can glean that you would have things like you can change the output resolution, so you may have edited it in 1080p, but you may want to save the file finally as 720p. Sorry about the alarm just now. 720p, and you may have some features of changing the compression levels, which would make the file size huge or really small. Can you try and aim for a video file size that's around 500 megs or less? If you go above a gigabyte for a 3 or 4 minute video, you've gone way too far. I hope this helps, guys. Sorry I'm not the best at this. Hope it wasn't too long.